In this Getting Started video, we'll walk you through the basic editing process, but also point out where to access additional tutorials on all the great editing features along the way. I'll pick up where I left off from the record video, with my recording already on the timeline and the project settings window open. Presets allow me to begin thinking about how I want to share my video and what dimensions I should use. The preview window will then show how the final video will look with the chosen dimensions. The default preset is the web with dimensions of 640 by 480, but I can choose from a variety of other presets from this drop-down menu. I'd like to use the web preset, so I'll stay with this default setting. If you want to learn more about choosing the right preset, click this link to view a specific tutorial. Before I click OK, I'll make sure that this radio button next to Change the Video Dimensions and Apply Smart Focus is selected. Smart Focus automatically applies zoom and pan keyframes to my timeline, and I'll show you what that means in a moment. I'll click OK to close this window. Before we look at the timeline, let's first save our project. I'll click on the Save Project button and type in a name for my new project. I recommend saving the project to the same folder we saved the Camtasia recording or Camrec file in. This will help keep your files organized. The Camtasia project file, or Camproj file, that we're saving now includes all of our edits and is the one I will want to open later to continue editing my video. I'll click Save and my project has a new name. Now let's take a look at the timeline. The first thing I want to point out is the timeline toolbar. These buttons here allow me to zoom in and zoom out of the timeline to help me get a better view for precise editing. The split button is used to split a clip into two. To do this, place the playhead at the point of your clip where the split is to take place and click the split button. This allows me to add transitions or additional media from my clip bin between these clips. If I click and drag to highlight a portion of the timeline, I can use the cut button to remove this selected portion if I no longer want it in my video. Click the cut button and the selected area is gone. Expanding the Tracks menu gives me lots of options for adding additional tracks to my timeline. For example, I could add a second audio track and import some background music to use in my project. Since I applied Smart Focus to my timeline when setting up the project settings, all of these keyframes or zoom points were added to the zoom track. Let's preview the video by clicking the play button so we can see how some of these zoom points look. As you can see, this keyframe zooms in to focus on the address bar so that it's easier to read the text being entered. And this one zooms back out to full screen. It's also easy to adjust these keyframes by simply double-clicking on any one of them. This opens the Zoom and Pan Properties window where I can adjust the scale and position of the keyframe. To learn more about how to edit Zoom and Pan keyframes, click the Show Me button and watch a video tutorial about this great feature. I'll click Finish to exit this window and return to the main screen. Another feature I want to show you on the timeline is something new in CS6. It's now possible to unlink the Video 1 and Audio 1 tracks. If I click this button here, a message asks if I want to permanently unlink these tracks. Click Yes and Video 1 and Audio 1 tracks are now separate and can be locked and edited independently of each other. A tip for the timeline is that when I right-click on different areas or on individual clips, a context menu appears with a variety of options. A lot of options are available here, and you might just find what you're looking for. A similar context menu appears when right-clicking on a clip in your clip bin, giving you a variety of choices. Additional editing options can be found in the task list. Each of these features has an individual tutorial in our Learning Center to help explain how to use them. So if I click on any of these links, a Show Me button is available that will take me directly to the specific video tutorial. Before I end, I'd like to take you to the Tools menu and open the Options window. Under the Program tab, I can adjust the number of minutes that I want for when my project gets auto-saved. I recommend somewhere around 3 minutes, but it's totally your call. You can also set the default durations for things like transitions, images, and callouts for when they're added to the timeline. Any changes here affect any new items added to the timeline, but won't affect items already present on the timeline. Another area I want to point out is the Hotkeys tab. There are some new hotkeys for adding a variety of features to the timeline, which are great and can save you lots of time during editing. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and I recommend watching the Produce video next, as it will walk you through how to produce your video into a format to share with your audience. Thanks for watching.